Amanda Buckingham, Managing Director of Warriedar Resources, is going to talk to you about the Big Springs project. Welcome.
Thank you. All right. Warriedar Resources.
Sorry.
It's okay, we're not exactly a household name yet. In fact, we're still quite small, a little unknown, a little under the radar. We have been, it's 7 months now since we joined the ranks of Junior Explorer in the Murchison. And in that time, we have added significant confidence to our gold resources. And importantly, this week, or actually today, marks the beginning of the real commitment to our base metal program. We commenced drilling today. Now, we told the market in early August that we would start our base metals program by the end of the quarter, and we are at the end of the quarter. So it's a very exciting and busy week and time for Warriedar. If we look at what we have, so we have 2 projects, both in Tier 1 world-class mining jurisdictions, Nevada and Western Australia. In Nevada, we have just over 1 million ounces of gold at our Big Springs project. Now, this project is right alongside the Jerritt Canyon Mine Complex. It has a production history of 10 million ounces of gold. Now, I'm not going to talk about Nevada today, there's not enough time. But I'll just leave one thought with you. Nevada is the absolute land of giants. Individual deposits can be 20, 30, even 40 million ounces of gold. It's a superb land holding. In WA, and this project we took on in February this year, and it has been our focus since February. We have just under 1 million ounces of gold, and we are in the middle of the Murchison, surrounded by active, profitable mines. So it is prime tenure. A lot of our ground is on permitted mining leases, and we are actively exploring. What is the Warriedar story? It does start with the right team. We have a superb team, a great team, both on site in terms of operational and technical expertise, and in terms of the support group in Perth and the board. We have a team of motivated, clever, ambitious people. To steal a quote from a friend and colleague of mine, it is empowered small teams that find ore bodies, and that is exactly what we are going for. So I think there's nothing easy about exploration. It is challenging. It is fun, but it is hard. You have to do what you're doing with the right group of people. We are a gold and copper business. Now, I've told you about our gold resources, but we sit in the middle of the Murchison. We are right next to Golden Grove. We're not far from Deflector. We sit in a belt that is well endowed with copper, base metals. So gold is our comfortable resource, our security, but our real blue sky opportunity is our base metal targets that we have started to drill today. Our focus so far this year, since we took on the projects in February, was the gold story. We really felt like we needed to drill and understand what we have. So we drilled over 25,000 metres, and we delivered significant extensions to our gold resources. We are happy that we understand now where to drill to find more mineable ounces in the gold space. But what we are focusing on now is our base metal opportunities, and we plan to drill some very well-considered, well-planned copper and nickel targets starting today and moving through this quarter, or the coming quarter. And importantly, and this is important, we know the odds of exploration. To be successful, you must test a lot of targets. We have a solid pipeline of high caliber targets. Certainly, if these first targets that we are drilling don't come in, we will be quite disappointed. But we will pick ourselves up, get back on the horse, reassess and move on. We have quality targets across our portfolio. I always like to show a picture of what we look like. This is what we look like. Sometimes covered in mud, sometimes not, but always out in the Murchison. Now, we are a site-based operation. We live and breathe on site. And this works for us because our project used to be a producing mine. Until the middle of 2019, it was an active mine site. Because of this, we have a very comfortable camp, a mill, decent infrastructure, haul road, fuel farm. We are very well set up on site. This also means that if the geos want to go out and look at a prospect, they drive out to it. We are living and breathing in the Murchison. Where are we? We hold quite a commanding land position right in the middle of the richly mineralised Murchison. You can see here my fancy Google Earth image. Our tenements are in the middle. Golden Range is where most of the gold is, and Fields Find is where the real base metal opportunity is. And we're surrounded by profitable operating mines. Capricorn Metals Mount Gibson Gold Project is just to our south. Similar rock, similar structure. Silver Lakes, Rothsay and Deflector mines are to the west and southwest. Ramelius Mount Magnet is up the road, and Golden Grove. The lights of Golden Grove are visible from our camp. It's about 3 kilometres away. So it is a prime location, permitted mining leases. We are drilling now. We spend our money in the ground. In terms of the gold story, why do we believe there is significant potential? I told you that this was a producing mine until the middle of 2019, but the mill was only configured for soft oxide ore. Now, as a result, there was no interest in fresh rock gold and certainly no interest in any copper-based metals. Anytime copper was intersected in the holes, the geo was told to pull up. We believe that is an incredible opportunity for us. We have removed that constraint. We're not concerned about the mill. We just want to find more fresh rock gold below and along strike from existing shallow open pits. And we have about 31 of them. We also have 72 kilometres of strike of the main mineralised shear. So there's plenty of scope for an absolute step up in scale. As I mentioned, the first half of this year was all about our gold story. We drilled just under 27,000 metres. We drilled into 5 of our existing gold resources, all on mining leases. All 5 of those resources we extended to different degrees of success, but we proved to ourselves and showed the market that there is more gold, both at depth and along strike. We now know where we need to drill to add more mineable ounces in terms of our gold story. It's probably time I show you a map and introduce you to what is where and what we have. So the 5 prospect names in the sort of orange annotated boxes, this is where we drilled and extended the gold resources this year. 4 of them are along the main shear. The dark grey polygons are the permitted mining leases that we have. The project on the left is called Golden Range, and the project on the right is called Fields Find. Fields Find is where we are focused now. It is where the base metal opportunities are. It's where the drill rig is turning today at the historic Warriedar copper mine as I speak. Now, while we were drilling gold during the first half of this year, we were also preparing for our base metal program. Because this was a gold mine previously and there was no real interest in base metals, we were missing a fundamental baseline data set. So earlier in the year, we flew quite a significant airborne EM, electromagnetic survey. It's basically allowing us to shine a torch on the ground and work out which parts of the ground are conductive, which may host copper and nickel. We got some really good results from that survey, and we followed it up with some ground surveying. So we now have well-constructed, well-planned nickel and copper targets to drill. Before I go into that, I'm just going to show you, just give you a quick look at some of the success we've had in the gold space. Now, I welcome you to come to our booth and I can go through the gold story in a bit more detail. This is Windon Well You can see where it sits in the, on the main belt. It's actually on a parallel shear to the west of the main mineralised shear, completely free milling, an existing gold resource of 91,000 ounces. We've shown that it extends further to the north and at depth. And importantly, there are a couple of high-grade shoots in that main area that we will focus on and follow up in due course. Very much still in play. Rothschild, this is a small resource in our JORC table. It's only 31,000 ounces. Now we drilled here with the idea, it's on a mining lease, and this is one of 5 separate lodes that are all mineralised. Now we were quite pleased with the results here. We showed that the resource extends to 230 metres below ground along the entire strike of the lode. It's a great outcome. Just like Windon Well, we know what to do here. We're going to sit on it for now and progress this in due course. The third example I'll show you is what we call Ricardo. It is a cluster of gold deposits. I think it's always nice to see what the ground looks like from above. So this is just a drone photo that we took recently, and I've annotated a few things. I think you can look at a map and forget how vast this ground is. So this main mineralised shear, we have 72 kilometres of that. This particular area, there's about 480,000 ounces below those various pits you can see. The pink is where the car, that's the drone controller, and these little white ovals are where we drilled this year, underneath the existing resource, proving that it's deeper. It is quite a large opportunity. We need to be clever with how we target and where we drill. We're very aware of the size of the project we've taken on. The point being here at Ricardo, there is plenty of opportunity to scale up. And once again, a long section through what we just saw, there's quite a few high-grade shoots in this resource, even 13 metres at 16.5. We now have a really good understanding in 3D of where these high-grade shoots are and where we will drill to progress our gold story. But please come to our booth and we can talk about gold in more detail. What do we look like in terms of our corporate snapshot? I have a really well-experienced, diverse, supportive board. We all have different backgrounds and we work really well together. We have a clean capital structure. We have money in the piggy bank. We can afford to do what we're undertaking now. It's a good position to be in. So we can focus on drilling these base metal targets. And actually, we just did a capital raise to top up the treasury. So we are in a good position. I'm happy to take a lot of questions. And I seem to have missed a slide on the copper, so I'm going to just talk about it. So at Fields Find West, which is where we are drilling now, what we have there is quite a unique geological situation. We have a layered ultramafic intrusion. We have a historic copper mine that is structurally controlled. And we have little porphyries coming up with copper gold around the edge of them. So in terms of geological models, it's quite a mess, and that's exactly what we want. It's a smorgasbord of commodities. What we are targeting now is some well-modelled EM conductors that sit very close to historic drilling. And the historic drilling has all grade intersections, not the widths but the grade. So we've got 4.4% nickel right next to a strong EM conductor. We've got 2.5% copper in a similar position. We've got almost 40 grams per tonne gold, not followed up at all. It's a very interesting, complicated area that we are about to drill and focus on for the next month to 6 weeks. And the targets, we believe, are really solid. Now, I believe with the team that we've put together, yes, we have these fantastic gold assets, but we all know gold is not the flavour of the month. It is challenging in the junior gold space. What we have is these remarkable copper and nickel targets in a belt that is well endowed in terms of base metal potential. remembering that Golden Grove is 3 kilometres from our doorstep. So I believe by focusing on our base metal story now, we can actually grow our company, and on the back of good results, this will be our blue sky opportunity. And when the time is right, we will focus again on the gold resources. They're great commodities, gold and copper, and we plan to manage that portfolio well. So in summing up, yes, we have almost a 2 million ounce gold resource. And the first half of this year, we drilled extensively to understand what we've got in the gold space. Of the 5 deposits we drilled, we extended all 5. So we are happy, we understand where to drill to find more mineable ounces in our gold story. Now, this week, we start drilling our base metal, particularly our copper and nickel targets. They are well constructed, well planned targets. But importantly, to back them up, we have a solid pipeline of high calibre targets that we will work through this coming quarter and into next year. What I would say is our story is, it's clear, it's uncomplicated, it's immediate. We have some real growth opportunities that we are working through now. And I know that we have the team to pull this off. Thank you very much. Questions?
Questions,
Yeah.
Any questions for Amanda?
Amanda?
Yeah?
The sands at Fields Find, has that got any value in it at all?
The what at Fields?
The gold sands at Fields Find. You've got a lot of gold sands there. 46,000 tonnes.
Oh, in the tailings? Yeah, we like that. We're very aware of that. It's part of the story. We can't touch it at the moment. We don't want to trigger any liability, but we're aware of what's there. We plan to drill, so that's the Reeds Ridge tenement, what we're calling Mopoke. We're going to drill around that as part of this program as we move up the belt. And that's not the only area. Like, there are 2 historic gold mines at Fields Find. Fields Find has a grade of 25 grams per tonne, Reeds Ridge 20, untouched, unfollowed up. So yeah, I mean, there's really good gold grade there, absolutely. I'm not sure where my slide went with all that, but it's come and talk to us. Thanks. No, it wasn't in here. Please come and talk to me at the booth, and I'll show you our Fields Find story. It's a good opportunity for me to speak to you individually. Any more questions?
I had one before we let you go.
Please, yeah.
Unless there's another one from the floor. It's interesting you're talking about the focusing on copper and parking the gold for a bit. Given the infrastructure you've got around the gold assets, was there no temptation to try and prioritise and fast track some cash flow from the gold to then fund a broader scale copper exploration program? Absolutely, we did think about that. Our current position is we don't quite have the gold ready to do that. We understand a lot more what we've got now, and we like what we see. But we also recognise it will cost us quite a bit to do the drilling we need to progress these gold resources. So it was a trade-off. We spent as much as we were comfortable spending to understand what we needed to know. But for us, the blue sky is these copper nickel targets. If we can show that this Fields Find area is well endowed, like, there are 10 separate stories in that one area. And it's remarkable that previous explorers were not looking for base metals, but we've got these, 2.5% copper, 4.4% nickel. Where does that come from? There's a lot of smoke and a story that will unravel as we move up the belt. So it's exciting for us. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, sorry.
98 metres. So the 4.4% nickel is from 98 metres. The 2.5% copper at Sandpiper, it's either from 58 or 96 metres. I'll show. Come and visit me. So it's not surface, but it's not too. The 4.4% nickel is remarkable. Like, it's on a big shear that goes through the whole belt. 400 metres away is where the strong, well-modelled EM conductor sits. Now, the previous explorers didn't do EM, so they didn't see that. They didn't know it was there. I know the odds of exploration, but that is a pretty good proposition. So,
Thanks, Amanda.
thank you.
Thank you. Fresh.